Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Alpha Minecraft. As you probably guessed from the title, which is likely something uncreative like, I made a Halloween episode, this is a Halloween episode. Yeah. As such, as I'm recording this, it's nowhere near Halloween, and it will only be slightly closer to Halloween by the time you watch this. Editing. Yay! But enough about staying on topic. Look! All the colours are different! In Alpha 1.2, like, proper, grass colours were added, I believe, as part of, biome shading, because biomes were also added in this update. So, yeah. Sounds also work now. Which is, I think, unrelated to anything else. It's just because my computer doesn't like Alpha Minecraft. Or potentially... Okay, yeah, that's going to take getting used to. So, the sounds for walking on grass and destroying grass are exactly the same. And even when animals make them... Yeah. There's one other thing. That tower looks really cool from here. Okay, yeah, that's... I saw a creeper. Where's the creeper? Yep, there's the creeper. Right. That's really all I wanted to say. Now, in 1.2, there were more things added than grass colours and sounds. There'll be like a list appearing on the screen now. Why don't we go and try to achieve some of the things on that list? I hear there are new wood types. Maybe we can find some. I spent some time organising a chest, which I can't show because it won't open. I also organised my inventory, which is much easier. Now, I shall set off to the great unknown, and I thought I chopped down that tree properly. Never mind. That tree is going to stay there until the advent of me getting a good enough computer where I can afford to turn off the fast graphics. Should I record the entirety of this trip? No, it's just going to be me mumbling. Someone in the comments is going to be pointing out that I'm just wandering off without any knowledge of where my base is. Yes, I am doing that. This is a terrible idea. Do you know why I'm so confident on my abilities to find my base again? I'm not. But I've been this way before. You know what I should do? Hang on. In F3, there we go. Negative 20, 12, right? That's this bit. And then from there, all I need to do is go towards negative x. Right? And by recording that, unless the audio file or not the audio, it would have to be both the audio and the video files corrupting. Not taking any chances there. Oh, I do miss the swimming added in 1.13 because it's just crawling along now. I do have to ask whether I'm absolutely certain that beta had the new biomes. The answer, unfortunately, is yes, which means, or not beta, this is alpha. Get this right.
The answer, unfortunately, is yes, which says more about my ability to read and memorize things. Unless I was right, in which case I am a genius. My genius knows no bounds. And is that... what's that in the background there? Is that chunk error or natural generation? Just going to speed up this bit. It nearly said, "Oh look, snow! I found a mountain." No, that's not snow. That's stone. On the plus side, that is definitely a chunk error, which, for Pete's sake, was just taking pleasure in having found a chunk error. Okay, can I not enjoy the simple things?
Because at this point, instead of explaining why it was good that I found a chunk error, I just decided to complain about having fallen into a small hole that I eventually got myself out of. Very easy, in fact. And then some inexplicable joke about Marvel films that I haven't in fact watched. So the chunk error is good, because this means that on the other side of this weird wall, I will find biomes from alpha, no, not alpha, from version 1.2, like a forest.
I think this is a forest. Next clip. This isn't a forest. I'm leaving that in, even though this is a forest. Just... the heck did... that's a sheep. Ooh, I like that arc. I like that arc. It's not remotely sensible, because it's only part. You know what? At some point, I will have a reason to return here, and I will make that a complete arc.
So they're definitely proper 1.2 biomes, because I found a desert. At least I think there are biomes. Could be a large amount of sand. Statistically improbable, so I doubt it, but it could still happen. I walked past this little puddle here because I thought, oh, it's just a little puddle. Nothing new there. That is wrong. These little puddles of water, sometimes lava, those were added in Alpha 1.2, and it's interesting how they've just become such a common thing that you'll walk past them. They were added in this update, they weren't always there. Just thought that was interesting.
Ooh, I like this landscape. So I didn't plan for what would happen if I was still exploring and it became nighttime. So I'm just going to make a small hidey hole. I'll just take this opportunity to check whether spruce forests and such were added here, because I could be wrong. And this would be a perfect time to cut my losses, to be honest. Well, not now precisely. Perfect time to cut my losses would be... I don't know. After daybreak, yeah. Sun goes up, it's time to cut my losses. Now, Beta 1.2. Right. Okay, so this isn't a total loss, because I've still found interesting terrain. But also, look, it's one Greek letter, another Greek letter. They look the same. They don't. They really don't. They're arguably two of the most difficult Greek letters to confuse for one another. That's a bold claim for someone who doesn't actually speak Greek, but can recognize Greek letters. It's like, Alpha is just sort of weird sort of ox thing. Call it an ox. It is supposed to be. It is supposed to be, or the alpha symbol is supposed to be related to the Phoenician letter for ox. Aleph, I believe. No, I think Aleph is a different language, but it is supposed to be related to the Phoenician word, character, symbol for ox. And it's just odd that it looks like how one would write ox in English. Coincidence? Yes, but it's a very interesting coincidence because English is also descended from Greek letters. And that stays closed, and the game stays on normal difficulty, so nothing breaks down that door.
Right. I'm not even sure how long exploring now. Found nothing that I was looking for. I'd almost say I was disappointed.
But you can't be disappointed looking at that. That's just cool. What I should probably do, though, spread the coolness around. Why don't I build something here, hey? Maybe. Actually, why don't I build something on the top of that hill? Because that's a cool looking... That is a cool looking hill. You know how 1.18 is generally regarded as a good update because it adds really nice terrain? This is nice terrain. It's gone from... I think it's gone from beta even. There's... maybe not from beta, but at some point between Alpha Minecraft and 1.17, we lost some good terrain. And 1.18 is... it's different. That was stupid. It's different. It's good. I would describe it as sort of imagining Minecraft to be more like real life, which is not something you hear said every day. But like, that terrain also looks very real life. It's just a different style of interesting terrain. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to run into my it's not really a pit of despair, it's more sort of a moderately fortified city-state. It's a moderately fortified city-state of protection. But look, on the plus side, I almost came away from that on a net positive, depending on what you think. But I'm reckoning, next step, we build something over there. Yeah. Something in keeping with the Halloween theme. When it gets dark, that just all disappears. Blimey. See, you might think this is torch spam. No. If I were to remove this singular torch, the entire thing, black as pitch, you wouldn't be able to see nothing. It gets unreasonably dark. This is Alpha Minecraft after all. But look, this tree is almost entirely vanilla except for the bits where I added roots. They're what's the name? Reparations? No. They're benefits. It's just all sort of trade. You get weird night mechanics. You get massive trees, which turn into Lovecraftian monstrosities before your very eyes because you planted an ungodly number next to one another because you thought, oh, they're trees, they can't grow that big. They grow big. They grow absurdly big. There's a pig. I might just make this clip longer than it needs to be so we can watch the pig. I have better things to be doing with my time. But there's a pig. There's another pig up there. You missed it. Just by the trees, if you're going back. There he is again. 2 pigs. One of them's gone. One of them... Okay, you're watching this with the ability to rewind. Did that pig, the original one that was in the sort of lower left area of the screen, did it just walk off a cliff? And on that note, time skip. Do. That's just blatantly stealing someone else's thing. Blatantly stealing someone else's thing. One near-death experience. I now have the unparalleled opportunity of seeing clouds phase through my base from a distance. Also, I've started work on my build. As anyone could tell you, the most important part of the prep for a build is building a pedestal for it. That sentence had the word build in it too many times. Construction? Possible. Just substitute that mentally for any of the other words where I used build. Now, there are some who would say that getting the materials necessary for actually building a thing is the most important. But those people are heathens. I've built this because otherwise I will just be exploded time and time again while building it. I did not need to get resources ahead of time. Ignore the pork chops. I was bored and it was dark and I hadn't finished the pedestal yet. I might need to rethink what I said about not needing to get stuff before you start building. Just by a small margin. Very small margin. It's come to my understanding that just sort of clips of resource gathering are a good way to pad out an episode because it establishes context for how I got the resources for this build. It looks interesting. Unfortunately, because I don't need any more wood, obviously, yeah, definite. I don't really have any clips to put in, except for a clip of me disassembling this Lovecraftian horror of a tree. Don't mind the leaves, by the way, they'll decay in beta. They have a half-life of until beta. Hey, radiation jokes. But I do have some resource gathering that I need to do. And admit it, this is satisfying as anything else I could hope to do. It's only slightly worse that I can't see it updating real time. This way it's just sort of a... Oh, here's the sound of a bunch of things breaking. Which is most of the fun, let's be honest. No, I thought. Yep. There we go. Also, I've probably mentioned this, but in alpha versions of Minecraft and in beta version, in every version until shears are added, which I think is beta 1.6, or it might be a full release. I want to say if it's a full release that it's 1.3, but that number's only in my head because that's when villager trading is introduced. But until then, you just punch sheep to get wool. Hang on. Nope, I can't give you an example because I've already punched that sheep. There are sheep somewhere. I will go find some sheep. And then we will do a quick jump to when I have found it. There we go! See? And I punch it, and I get some wool. And I find another sheep. I punch it, and I only get one wool. And I accidentally punch it again, and I don't get any more wool. They only drop one bit of wool. They don't. Well, no, they can drop up to 3, but they don't recharge wool because they can't eat grass yet, which is nice, I guess. Ooh, that one dropped possibly 3 bits of wool. I don't see many dropping 2 bits of wool. Yeah, welcome to just move. Oh, that looks good at every time of day. I just like to think that at some point this is going to be built out, and then. Well, I'll tell you what it is later. We'll just be standing there as a memorial, and it will look cool as. Actually, because it's very much a seasonal build, it might just slightly be torn down after a while, which is fine. It didn't take that long to build. Not tearing it down anytime soon, though. Just, it might eventually be on. And then we'll have an opportunity to build a new cool thing. Ignore that. That was organised. Promise. Back to work. Now, I'm going to continue talking about this because that pedestal looks really cool on that bit of hill. I was worried it might not fit. It fits perfectly. But I think where I actually wanted to build it was probably there-ish, where it would have been on a bit cooler terrain, but this way that hill is unobstructed and not just looks cool. It looks cool no matter where it is. We get more cool this way. The next clip, I still won't have finished this, but I will have found something else to ramble on about, I think. That's interesting. You can just sort of see barely at the top of it. That's probably poetic or something. You can also see the top of my tower, the top of the great tree there. No, other way. And then the monstrosity of logs and leaves that I made there yet. We'll deal with that later. Unfortunately, that's not a good angle for seeing. No, stop getting distracted. This is a good viewpoint. I've just realised I'm not wearing armour, so if I fall down, splats. I made a hand gesture to indicate how fatal the splat would be. You can't see the hand gesture, so that was sort of... Anyway. I'll just go over here. I'm missing something. Yeah, you can see. Okay, so maybe that's not... That's impressive. Can I turn off those clouds? Hang on. Options... Graphics fancy... I can't? Oh no, I can. The clouds are linked to the ground. Okay, fine. I'm going back to playing like this. Fine. This is fine. This is actually not too bad. Right. Those are clouds. Okay, fair enough. There are some clouds. Now, in case you can't, for whatever reason, tell why this is Halloween themed, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I haven't even cut a face into... Basically, this is supposed to be a Halloween jack-o'-lantern, except I don't have good internal light sources yet. That'll be a problem for part 2. And I haven't carved a face in. I also made it out of wood, because there are pumpkins in Alpha 1.2.6. They're just difficult to find. Hang on, is it getting dark? He's getting dark. Right, yeah. I'm just going to cut this clip short so I do not get killed by creepers and zombies and skeletons. Just quickly, nope. Clamber up here. Get that bit of wool back. Clamber up here. And I will just quickly carve a face in so this looks at least something like a jack-o'-lantern. And then I'll show you what this looks like from over there, probably at night. Not too night, different night. Oh, that looks cool at night though from here. This is a good angle. Still need to get rid of the monstrosity, but you can just sort of wax poetic about the light sort of seeping over the hill. I think at some point I should probably do something to level out that bit a bit more so it's better for building on. At some point I reckon I'll just terrain that whole thing, but currently I think it looks beautiful. Right, no, I have to think about the advanced planning. What should... Nope. Right. We'll worry about that later. Can't do that now because we don't actually have the resources necessary. Which is to say, I'm going to be doing this when I run out of ideas about November-ish. Even though, quite frankly, I should not, because that will be beta Minecraft at this rate, and beta Minecraft is only slightly better for building stuff. So it's not precisely nighttime, because this is alpha Minecraft. When it gets dark, you can't see nothing. Which is possibly bad grammar. You can see something, you can just see darkness. So, now that it's light out, you can see, oh god, you can see the creeper face in all of its terrible glory. Yeah, I think I built it one block too low, and I could fix that, or I could just leave it be for however long it is until I decide to blow it up and build something cooler. Yeah, and I think that's about it for this episode. Except for this. Oh yeah, I built this. I thought it would be apt given the nature of this. Alright. Fire. Shoot, I was hoping the fire would last long enough for me to turn round.